Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Clean Movement podcast, Sticks and Stones. I'm Andy Pick, your host, and with me is my brother from another mother and co host, the ever fiery Mike White. Hi, Mikey.
I'm alright, thanks. How are you, bro? Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while. Sunday lunch is good today, so I'm in a good mood. I'm excited.
That's lekker, man. That's lekker, man.
Okay, so today in our first Clean podcast, it's the beginning of the start of one of our series, and this series being Derby Days. In this series, we will be exploring some of the big school derbies around South Africa. We'll be talking to players from each school and be finding out the history, hype, and emotion that goes into each derby. To start us off, we have arguably the biggest school derby in Cape Town. I've experienced it as a fan, and it is massive. It is the Bish-Bosch derby, Rondebosch versus Bishops. Today with us to talk to us is Caleb Oliphant, Bishop's first team hockey player and SA under 17 hockey player, and Brett Sparks, Rondebosch first team hockey player and SA under 16 hockey player. Welcome, Brett. Welcome, Caleb. Good to have you on the show, gents.
How's it, guys? Thanks for having us.
Sweet, it's good to see you.
Well,
guys.
it's been
How you
a tough month or two.
Is it? And from the Bishop side of things?
Yeah, I'm all good. It was tough in the beginning, but kind of getting used to it now, so it's all good. All good from my side.
No, that's sweet, man.
That's good. That's
sweet.
good to hear. Okay, so before we start the hype and the build-up of this derby, we first need to set the scene. So this derby is really old and it goes back to 1911. Both schools are in Cape Town and are in Rondebosch and are only separated by 400 meters. With both schools generally being among the top boys' schools in the country, there's been a need to see which school is better. You guys can decide that for yourselves, and this only adds to the fire. Couple that with the proximity of the two schools, we have a brilliant derby on our hands. With the derby being played twice a year, and also sometimes maybe 3 times a year, we really have a high-quality game on our hands. So, boys, who's the better school?
Oh, that's a tough question, actually. I'm not going to lie. I think that whoever you ask, like, at the end of the day, it's always going to be a subjective answer. Like, if you ask any, like me or Mike or any other Bosch boys, you know our answer is going to be, yeah, like, Bosch is better. But I'm sure if you ask, like, Caleb or any other Bishops boys, they'll go, yeah, Bishops is better. And I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to who's better on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think another thing to look at is every game we've played in the last couple of years, especially last year, every single game's been super close, except for the one at the Woodlands, which is a bit of an upset for Bosch. But every other game's been extremely close and extremely tight. So it's always a treat to play the game and just experience it as a player's perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I was actually there for that Woodlands game, and just the support was outrageous. So, like, what goes into the build up in the week? Like, do your schools have chant stuff going in the week before and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can start first.
I think for us it's like a very big week. Like Bosch Week's like probably the most exciting week of like our whole year. So yeah, we just try and get the gears up in the school. Like we do a lot of cheering and stuff like that, and we try and make like the biggest event of the year. Like it is really important to us. So like especially if the hockey's first. So like before the game, the whole school will meet at like our rugby stand and have a few cheers, and then come down to the Woodlands and then obviously support. And then on the Saturday, or like just meet up, like watching the other grades play. And yeah, it's like a really big week. I'm sure from the Bosch side, it's also like you guys look forward to it as much as we do. Like it's like my favorite week. It's like insane.
Yeah. I mean, like as Caleb said, it's probably the biggest like school event of the year. And if you ask Mike, he can agree with me. When you walking in between classes during at Bosch during lessons, everyone's just like quiet. They're just thinking about, well, not quiet, but like obviously everyone has like their own bands and stuff. But everyone the whole week is just thinking about Friday, Saturday, what's the score going to be? How are we going to play? How are we going to do this? What's going to happen? And I'm almost like 100% sure no work gets done in the classroom either, because everyone's everyone's just so excited about what's going to happen on the weekend.
Friday.
It's impossible.
No, another thing that last year, especially when we went to the Woodlands, that was a really hectic thing. Is when I arrived to watch the under-14s and stuff, you could I already saw half the Bishop's first team there filling up the numbers, like your guys going up to each other saying how's it, and the team vibe Bishops has is actually you guys had was phenomenal and stuff, and it really put a point through that no Bishops game will ever be easy because both teams have such BMT and just people in each team will do anything to get the W and just to push through and get the win.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, especially with preparations and stuff, as in practices the week before. Everyone understands the pressure of the game, but not everyone understands how much work goes into it before the game happens.
Yeah.
I know from our point, the week before our last Bishops game, we talked almost every day and had training so often, so that by the time the game came, I guess we were just ready for anything. Just a lot of work that gets put into it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does it feel when you walk out and you see the two sets of fans so close to each other and you can just feel the vibe? How does that feel walking out? Especially walking out of cricket club, there's that nice tunnel, you just walk out. How does that feel?
I think from my side, the very first year I had grade 10, it was the most nerve-wracking thing ever. I remember Ryan telling us the first few minutes, just look out into the crowd, absorb everything in, and then start playing. I think that helped a lot because I was so nervous the first year. But last year, being in my third derby or so, you don't actually notice it. It's just some reason it's just white noise in a sense when we're playing.
Yeah, it's just noise.
Yeah, but it gets packed. The Woodlands game, I've never seen so many Bishops guys at a Bish-Bosch match. Usually it's not as much the rugby, but it was packed that Woodlands game, so it was quite nice to see all the Bishops guys supporting it.
Yeah, and that was actually quite special because it was almost raining that day, so I was actually impressed by the amount of numbers coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, another thing that I want to just chuck a point across to about Bishops and stuff is it's lekker playing at Province A and the cage and stuff, but I always think of the Woodlands as more of an Anfield sort of area because all around the field, it's maybe not Yokes are unbeatable there, but it's because that the fans are just so much closer to the actual field. At Bosch, the stands on the one side are close, but then there's the pavilion on the other side, and it's a couple of meters back, and you just feel like you have more space. At the Woodlands, it's just super claustrophobic, and it really just adds to the tension and to the vibe and the chaos of the supporters, and it just really pushes the players, and it really just gets the fans involved and stuff, which is cool.
I think Andy, from your point of view, a supporter, I think it's actually a lot nicer also to watch at the Woodlands. I know watching a cricket club, it's tough to get seats to actually watch the game because the main pavilion gets packed so quickly and then there's not a lot of space. So I think watching from Bishops is quite nice as well. The huge pavilion, there's always that space around that show.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so how does the crowd influence how you play? How does it feel while you're playing? And as you take that shot, you hear the crowd cheer. How does that feel?
I mean, for me personally, I tend to block out the crowd. So if I'm playing with 10 people watching me versus 1,000 people watching me, I'd play exactly the same in both games. Except obviously if you do a cool skill or something and the whole crowd just goes wild, then you just take a second or two to go yes. But besides that, I mean, yeah, just tend to block it out.
No, I think from my
side,
I think I don't necessarily play for the crowd, but I prefer having a lot of us watching. I think it's quite nice, just to have all your mates to come down and support you. It's quite special. And obviously scoring a goal in front of the whole Bishops crowd. Last year when we played the Woodlands and scoring that German, just to celebrate with the whole squad, it was the most amazing feeling ever. So that was the first time I think I scored in a Bish-Bosch other than the year before, but proper goals. It was just so special, the whole school watching and having all the sports. So it's quite nice to have all of them down there.
Yeah, I also think you have to take account of both points. I thrive off the crowd. I love playing with the crowd, and I feel I play 10 times better hockey with the crowd because obviously I come from a much more, like, I'm definitely not the most skillful player in either of the teams, but I
What do
just
you mean? Mike.
I consider myself, like, I love the banter and I love the noise, and like without the crowd, I feel like it's sort of like watching footy with no supporters. It's just not the same. I love playing with a huge crowd that chirps you, and obviously me having red hair, I get a lot more stick than the average player, so you kind of get over the shots that get fired, you know.
But it's true. I think when there's a bigger crowd, you tend to try and bring up your game a little bit better. So I think the crowd definitely, I think in some of the bigger games I've played, have brought out some of the best in me, because you're just like, I want to do so much better now.
So what are those big games, Andy? Do you guys have many big games? I'm just curious.
Okay, Finance doesn't have big games. Look,
I'm sure we're gonna get a podcast about that as well. It's coming.
Finance versus Bishops at home. That's our big game. Caleb knows all about that.
We struggle.
So Caleb, talk to us about winning the league at home, especially I think that was the first Bish-Bosch last year, or the second one.
What are you asking?
How did it feel knowing that you won the league already?
Bish-Bosch.
The one at Bishops.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know how these guys feel, but winning the league never used to be so big. Like, you know, it's not that big. It never seemed that big. So we didn't really think about it. It was more that the fact that we were playing Bosch. So that was like the big thing. Like, I mean, it was nice to win the league. It was one of our aims, but the league, I'd say, is not as big as it normally is. So it was nice, but the main thing in our mind was, you know, we're playing Bosch now. It's time to step up, and we lost the first game in knockout. So we really wanted to actually make sure that we actually got something out of this game this time.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Like when Oaks are in like grade 8 to grade 10, maybe when they're more juniors and stuff, and the coaches are pumping them, the idea is that winning the league is super important and winning knockout is super important. But like as you get older, you realize that the team that you've been playing in is like, it's soon going to come to an end. So you just want to take every minute as it comes and just enjoy it. So like enjoying every Bish-Bosch is like, there's only ever so few Bish-Bosch games. So taking every minute as you can is just phenomenal. And it's just really, if you look at the bigger picture, just enjoying it is way more important than winning anything.
Yeah. So gents, what are your favorite derby memories?
Ooh.
It's a tough one.
I know. For me, it has to be between two things. So the first one would be winning the last game last year. I'm sure Mike can agree with me. Just that last feeling of everyone running on the field and celebrating with you is just insane. And the other one was, I remember in grade 9, I played against Bishops, and then I scored 5 goals, which was also like pretty cool as well. So that's my top 2.
I think my best ones would be, there's quite a few, you know, because this is quite dominated a bit. So I mean,
fair enough.
One of my biggest highlights is I was in grade 8. Muz and I were lucky enough to play under 16 at the time, and we were playing Bosch at Creek Club on Clifton 4th at B Astro. And I think we were 2-0 down like the whole game. Like they were just dominating us and we couldn't really score. And then all of a sudden we just turned it around and we made it 2-2, and then we ended up winning the game 3-2. And we did this in the space of 7 minutes. Like, who the hell does that? So yeah, that was pretty.
I remember.
Yeah, it was your brother's year.
It was my brother's year. I still talk to him about it today. I was like, how can you lose a 2-0 lead at half time? But obviously, I mean, when you have you guys on the field, anything can happen.
And then probably the other one would be last year, that 4-1 at home, like just after the game, having the whole school doing our war cry, like it was just insane. Like probably one of my highlights of the year.
Yeah.
Caleb, can I just ask you a quick question? What do you guys actually do when, like, after the game, you guys leave and go like behind the field? What do you guys actually go do there? Because all the Bosch Oaks that I've ever talked to, I've always wondered what you Oaks actually do.
So yeah, so like if we playing Bosch at home in terms of the hockey, so after the game we'll run like through those like two tunnels, like either
Yeah.
side is like a tunnel. We run through the
Yeah, yeah.
one and then the middle part, and then like our whole school will like stand in a circle and leave this little entrance for the first team player to run into, and the cheerleaders are there in the middle, and then we do like a little war cry, like the school little war cry, and then obviously, and then we just break away. And then for the rugby, it's like literally the same. The rugby guys will be playing, we wait for them to shake hands, and then like they'll tell us to come, and then the whole school will just run into the rugby players who are standing in the middle, and they do the walk right. So all the first team players are always like in the middle with the cheerleaders, and then the whole school is just on the outside.
That's really cool now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. That's actually super, super cool. Finance don't have the same as that. Co-ed school things.
Yeah, man, same.
So, who's the best player you played with? Like, you guys have played with some awesome players over the years. So, who's the best player, and possibly like, what's the biggest moment you've experienced with him?
Well, I didn't catch that. You kind of lagged out a bit.
Oh, so it's, so who's the best player you've played with in the derby?
Oh, hands down.
Played.
Like on your team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine would have to be Liam Sorensen then from last year.
Yeah.
It's actually
Mine?
quite a tough
big-
one. Quite a tough one because you have to look at it like who actually played well on the day. And I think a super underrated person on all the derbies has always been Jordan Yu, the Bosch goalkeeper. Like he always,
Oh, yeah.
like he played SA, he played Province A, like he was a
Yeah.
phenomenal keeper, and he actually carried us a lot through the tough times and stuff. And he was actually a hero in all the games. So I think Jordan Yu, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, that is true actually. I know if it wasn't for him really in that last game, you guys could have put one or two more
Yeah.
in the back of the net. So
Yeah, he had monster saves just as he's good.
I still think Muzi tops all of them, but yeah, they're all pretty good as well.
Yeah, that oak is a cheeky.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure everyone can
Man's
agree
a
on
hockey
that.
god, bro. Caleb, though, talk to us about what happened in the last derby. Talk to us what happened in the last minutes.
Oh, with that choke corner.
Yeah, talk to us about that. What happened?
You know it. So we actually think we had 3 in a row. If I'm like correct.
Yeah,
I
he
think,
had 3.
Yeah, it was 3.
I think the first one we backed him for the flick. Like remember it hit a foot or something. So we had another one. And I think we tried to change it up the second one, but I can't really remember what we tried to do. And we got another one, obviously, and the third one, I think we called a slip left to me or like a German or something. Yeah, I think that was the plan. But looking back, I think we should have actually just ended up backing Moose. I think that would have been the better option. Yeah, I was expecting a slip, but it didn't really go down to how I planned it. Like I wanted it more like I wasn't kind of expecting it.
Yeah.
But I think we should have actually rather just back Moose in the flick straight. I think it would probably been a better option.
Yo, no, it was super close. I think all 3 of those short corners, I think every single Bosch oak was just Oaks had their hearts in their stomachs. Oaks was sinking, but it was just like it could go either way. Like to be fair, it was such a close game the whole way through. If Oaks scored there, we couldn't have been mad. Like obviously it would have been bleak, but I mean, phenomenal game, which was good.
Yeah.
I just remember running back from the halfway line on the first shorty and hitting it foot, and I just went, oh my word, it's another one. And then so I walk back and then I run again and it hits a foot again and I go, oh my word. Like just my heart, like having this feeling, like please just like save the ball.
Like the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, so the hockey is at a really high level. But a few times that I've seen the game, it gets really intense. Like I'm pretty sure a few times a few fights could have formed. Do you guys want to talk about that there?
I don't know if there's much to talk about there. I think you pretty much said it all. It's just like the tension of the game is just so high all the time. Every single person on the field is giving it their all and just wants to win.
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes there's a bit of a push or two, but besides that, I think it's solid.
I think I can agree with Sparky there. Like it means so much to everyone. Like it's the one game like I don't want to lose. Like I don't mind if we lose like any other game, but this is like one game I don't want to lose. And I'm sure that's the same with like you guys as well in every playing team. So obviously it's gonna get heated at some points. I've seen some games that when it gets a bit like I
Yeah.
remember that knockout game in the season was a bit heated. You know. But otherwise, like yeah, it's just naturally for it to get intense. Like everyone's wins, so it's just gonna get a bit tough out there.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like people have so much respect for other players on the field. Like you can't disregard anyone. So I think if a fight did break out, it would, actually I don't think it would, because people would just like
It'd be so weird.
it would just be so
Yeah.
weird because we played against the same people every year for the past like what, almost a decade. If you played throughout prep school, like
Yeah.
it's been so closely contested the whole time, and it's like obviously during knockout there was a bit of heat and all that with me man marking was and stuff, but we tried it again in the second game, and then Yokes put us away, and then the third one was up for grabs, and like it was just throughout the whole game, and I don't think people would ever break into a fight just because of the respect that everyone has for each other.
Yeah. So is this derby bigger than the cup or bigger than the league? Do you think?
Yes.
I would say so. Yeah.
The knockout. Are you talking about knockout?
Either or both.
Nah,
But
I don't know. I would like to win knockout, but I think if I had to pick a game, I'd rather pick beating Bosch at Woodlands over like beating Bosch at Hartleyville. You know what I'm saying? So probably the league game.
Yeah, yeah. I can understand because like it's a big game and it's been going on for like how many, like a century almost. Do your schools like tell you the history as you go into the game, or do you just like go out and know it's just the biggest game of the year?
Obviously,
well, I
no.
think
Like we know this game's been going on for like ages, and like they always say, we're not just playing for ourselves, we're playing for like the people that have played before us and stuff like that. So yeah, not too much into history, but you obviously know like a bit about it.
yeah, I just think that with all the hype going into the game and stuff like that, there's no need for really anyone to remind us how much
Yeah.
of a big game it is, because we're saying to ourselves in our minds the whole time, this is a big game, this is a big game. So I think to answer that, not really actually. I think everyone already knows that it's kind of a big game because it's been going on for such a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just want to pose the question: when you guys are, so obviously I know more of what Bosch does in the change rooms, but when Bishy is in the change rooms before the big games and stuff, what are your pre-game rituals? What music do you listen to? How do you guys chat? Like, I just want to get like a psychological like view on like how different teams perceive different games.
Okay. Well, I think we approach the Bosch game like the same to every other game. I think in a way it's the same as every other game. It's worth a lot more. But we do the normal thing, like we watch the under 16As, and then like near the end, also we go into the changing room. Everyone gets changed, pump some tunes. I don't know, whoever's on Orcs.
Who's usually on Orcs?
Well, last year it was mostly Matriga with Z. So I mean, like, we haven't got any games. I can't really say about this year.
Fair enough.
And then yeah, we listen to music. Once everyone's changed, the coaches come in, they talk a bit of tactics. And then yeah, we go out for warm up. So nothing too special, nothing like it's just make sure we're getting in the zone and stuff before we warm up and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. What does Bosch do? I don't know.
Yeah, Bosch is kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bosch is kind of a weird one. We watch the 16As and stuff. Usually one of our players umpires the 16As and stuff. After that, we head in. We have our team banter for like 15 minutes, which usually just comprises of me making dry jokes. And yeah, after that, Oaks put their headphones in, Oaks change, pre-game rituals take place. Miggsy will come in, Lloyd will come in, have a chat with the boys. Everyone will get their heads screwed on properly, and we'll go out to have a liquor warm up. And then when we walk onto the pitch, everything just goes quiet, and you just focus on your breathing, and then just, we take it as it comes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mark, I'm out of questions, bro.
Okay. I'll pop one.
Shots.
This one goes out to Brett and Caleb, actually, obviously.
Ooh.
Who was the toughest player you played against in any of the derbies you played?
Okay, for me, I think we've already answered that question.
That's a
I
classic.
mean, I don't think we even have to say it. You guys already know who I'm speaking about. So
Yeah, Muz, yeah.
yeah,
This is a tough one. I don't know. Like the games vary. Like some games for us, like would be like we would be on top of it and stuff like that, and things just seem to flow. And other games that just seemed like so tough. I think definitely one of the hardest guys I played against, like defender wise, probably Cole. Like Cole's just like insane. Like the way he reads the game, like his tackling and like his whole just game of hockey is just insane.
Hundreds.
So one was probably Cole. I think Cole or who else is there? I don't think when I was in grade 10, there was me and I can't really remember the defenders. But I think probably just be Cole, and I probably think it's just Cole.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
gents,
Cole was a flag last year.
easy. So, gents, who was someone that you looked up to? Like, say, when you were in grade 8, who was someone you looked up to in the derby?
oh, that's a tough question. I know when I was in grade 8, it was the E17 boys that were in the first team, and at the time that team was first in the country. So I guess everyone kind of looked up to everyone in that team in a sense because, yeah, I mean, it was. I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, yeah, I'd probably say the whole first team because I can't really pick out like a few certain players. I just think the whole vibe that team had and how they played overall was just insane. So for me, I would just say the whole of the first team that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Yanni Dejan Kasim. Just like watching him in grade 8 and like even before that, just how amazing he is. Like as a striker, obviously I'm a striker, so I look up to someone that plays in the forward line and just watching him play, like it's just unbelievable. And like especially the Bosch games, I can remember that Bosch game at Creek Club when Bosch just scored and then like straight afterwards got the ball to halfway, ran through the whole Bosch
Yeah.
team.
Oh.
And, like, goals like that is just like you dream of scoring with Bosch. So I definitely think a player I looked up to in the Bosch game is probably Yanni.
Yeah. No, I'd have to go with one of the Bosch old head boys, Tim Orfeld. Like I feel like I play a very similar, like not style of hockey because obviously he was a lot quicker than I am, but just the types of runs that he makes and the way he acts towards the game and the way that he just perceives how the game's being played. I think like I look up to that and that's what I perceive as a brilliant hockey player. So that's
Yeah, I think
one,
he was part of that E17 team.
Yeah.
So, like, in terms of leadership, how big is the captain's job? I don't think any of you guys I'm pretty sure you guys aren't the captains of the team, but the captain and what he has to say, I know for Bish it's Muz and for Bosch last year it was Liam, but how big of a role did they play in getting you guys mentally switched on for the game? Oh no, sorry, it was Dory last year. Sorry.
Yeah. Sparking, I think.
Okay. I would say in the week leading up to the game, he did play quite a big part in training sessions, just keeping the boys focused 24/7, getting ready for Friday. And then when Friday came, I would say his role kind of lessened as inspirational, if that makes sense, because what we would do is every single person in our team would like inspire him on the field. I know I can vouch for me a certain word that we said that I'm now that we that we organized. So yeah, so and I'm going on a bit here, but basically when the game night came, I would say everyone in our team motivated each other equally.
Yeah, I think from our side, I think the captain does have quite a big like part to play. Like, most guys look up to the captain. I think everyone in the team, and you pick him for a reason. Like the years that I've played, like having Eddie and Dory, like they were both really good captains and helped like motivate us, especially in like a big game like that. So I think, but like Spark says, like everyone is so like amped for the game and wants to switch on and like it means a lot to them. So I think, like the captain has a big role, but I think everyone like is mentally switched on and all motivated to get to W and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I consider myself captain of the team banter. So I don't really get involved with the motivation of the Oaks. I just try and get a giggle out of the guys, make them have a good time. So captains play a huge role, but you got to have that one funny bloke in the team.
nah, definitely.
I have to say, Mike, you do quite a good job at that as well.
Oh, thanks, man.
There we go, Mike. How are the teams looking going forward, though? I mean, from your under 16s and under 14s, is the derby in safe hands to keep it as fiery as it is?
Oh, once we gone, like
Yeah,
like
once you
once we
got,
done.
yeah.
Yeah, in terms of Bishops, like to be honest with you, like a bit worried. Like, once our year's gone, there's not much. There's not much left. There's like, we have a few good quality grade 10s like Rupert, Danny, and Brett, but like after that, I don't really think we have much left in the tank. I think Bishops need to start looking more like I know Bosch, you guys, always bring in new talent and like nice youngsters. I think Bishops like just need to go to the market more in a sense. But yeah, I'm a bit worried to see like the years go on and how the first is going to do with like a little talent or like the little quality players that they have.
Mm-hmm. From the
As
Bosch
for
side?
as for Bosch, I'm not 100% sure because obviously we can't really see everyone playing this year, so I don't know quite how the under 14s are. But I do know that we do have quite a few good under 15s and under 16s coming through the ranks. Like I know Mike's brother's also coming to Bosch soon. What year is your brother?
Yeah, grade 8.
Brother
Grade 8.
grade 8.
They've got quite a decent year.
Yeah, so I'd say we're in pretty safe hands, but I think after watching a few games, I'd be able to give you a better answer.
Yeah, but just another thing to add on Caleb's point. Is it's really tough to judge how good a team's going to be when they're young because it takes one good coach just to get the mentality into the team, and then the whole team will skyrocket and become like insane.
Yeah.
So you could look at it like, oh, we don't have any good players, but when Leicester came into the Prem, like everyone considered them nobodies, and then the team just gelled and they just skyrocketed and became fantastic.
Shot for that, Mike.
Good point.
That's a good point, yeah. Talk to us about the coaches and like the tactics going into some of the derbies. Like we saw in some of the derbies trying that man mark system. Anything else you tried differently for a derby?
I think Boss just threw over it and just play. I don't know if there's much tactics going on here. I think it's just over it and play, but I'm not sure. You guys can elaborate.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone can say that for the big derby days, they don't play exactly the same as they normally play. Obviously, everyone does the analysis of the other teams and tries to figure out ways on how they can play and try to take the win on the day. So for us, I would say the week leading up to the game, it's quite technical, trying to see what we can do to take the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, like I'd say I don't know how it is with Bish, but Bosch is very laissez-faire with their tactics. Like when I found out that I was man marking Moose, I found out an hour before. So like obviously it worked out that time, but like it worked out then. But after that, when we went to the Woodlands, lost 4-1, it didn't work out. But I think tactics are always. I think the reason that Bish-Bosch is such a big derby is both teams are so adaptive and both teams have such quality players that they can adapt to how every team is playing, and no tactics will ever be the same at the start or the end of the game. So it's always big. It's always a big thing, and the coaches just have to realize that the players are going to do their own things, but the players will also push as hard as they can to get the win. So
yeah.
I think leading up to Bosch week, like obviously like the years of like throughout the years of bishops, like we focus a lot on tactics. So we have like a set of tactics in and out of formation and stuff. But I think when it comes to Bosch week, the main thing we focus on is like a lot of that, like the receiving overheads, because like, you know, to be honest, you guys do throw a lot of overheads. So like I know like one thing focus a lot on like in the week of Bosch is like we practice a lot of receiving overheads, especially the defenders, like throwing it, catching them, and then playing from there, because like you're gonna get a lot of them in the game. So the only thing we mostly change is like just getting used to the overheads. Other than that, it's like the same tactics. Nothing really changes. It's another game. It's just the overheads.
No, a lot of oaks roast us about our overheads, but I mean, like, if we can do it, then we're gonna throw them. Like, if we can do it, then we're gonna throw them. And usually works out for us, but it's just how the coaches play and just how they want us to push. So that's how it goes. You know, we just pawns really.
You know, Mike, you know what's so interesting is like that game at the Woodlands when we plucked yours. Yours didn't even throw overheads. Like we were expecting overheads galore, like because obviously you guys beat us the first game, you guys were throwing a lot, so we just expected the same thing to happen. That game, you guys didn't throw any.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was a weird. Yeah, the Woodlands was actually a really bad game for Bosch in a lot of senses because obviously we went 1-0 up, but we went 1-0 up just before halftime, I think, or just before the end of the Chaka or something.
No, the end of Chaka 1.
End of Chaka 1, we went 1-0 up or something, and even at that Chaka, people were noticing there was holes in the team, and at that, then you guys scored just like 45 seconds later, and the whole team vibe around Bosch, like our BMT kind of just dropped and we just lost our heads and stuff. And I think obviously the man mark system, because I got put on Wiz again, and it didn't really work out because you guys obviously just figured out the way we were going to go and how we were going to play. So you guys kind of just sorted it out, got your stuff together, and just pushed on and moved ahead. And I think you guys just kept your composure better than we did. And I think every single play we did was rushed up to the last minute. So yeah, I don't know if Brett can elaborate more on that, but it was a very poor game from our side.
Yeah, I think you pretty much said it all there, Mike.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
Yeah, so thank you, gents. Thank you so much for being on the show. It's been great having you, especially talking about something as big as the Rondebosch derby or Rondebosch Bishops derby. Yeah, it's been good, gents. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Yeah, it was good.
Oh, thanks for having us, bro. Nothing but respect between the schools. Nothing but respect for the boys in the podcast. It's been an absolute joy. I hope that we can actually play the BishBosch this year now because of the corona and stuff.
Thanks.
Because obviously it's our last one, and I think it's even maybe a bit worse for the Bishops Oaks because last year we had our last one at Bosch. So yeah. I think the Bishops Oaks should have. Yeah, the last game at the Woodlands would have been immense for you guys, and I feel like that would have pushed you guys to a new level. But I mean, obviously, we'll just have to see how it goes.
I've heard that there's a possibility of us having one.
I really hope we do.
It's like something like I think the 28th of August. But we'll have to see back. But yeah, hopefully we get something out of it. That's like, I don't care, we don't play like the whole time, just one game. Like this one.
Yeah, 100%.
So short, gents, thank you so much. To all the listeners and everybody out there, thank you for listening, and please remember to like and subscribe on here and on Instagram. This is a goodbye from the clean team. Keep it clean, boys.
Cheers,
Thanks lads.
Cheers.